Hi guys, welcome to my C++ tutorials. In the last tutorial, we talked about the while statement, while repetition statement, this statement which is while. Now in this tutorial, I want us to talk about the do while repetition statement, which is do while, and this is the structure of the do while statement. This is the structure of a do while uh, repetition statement. Now, remember in the last tutorial, we talked about a program that prints out 10 numbers to the screen. Now, this program does the same thing. It prints 10 numbers to the screen from 1 to 10. Now, what happens here? From this line, we declared our variable and we initialize it to be equal to 1. Then, from then, we begin with the do while statement. It begins with the do. Then the body of the do while statement, we actually say, okay, output this num. Then after outputting this num, end the line. Then after ending the line, increment num, add 1 to the current value of num, which is 1. Then after that, it goes and check the condition if num, which is 2 now, because and it was 1, then 1 was outputted in the line. Then in this case, 1 was incremented to be 2, 1 was added there, then it changed to be 2. The value was 2 now, so num is equals to 2. Now this one checks if num, which is 2 in this case now, then it checks if 2 is less than 10. Okay, 2 is less than 10. It begins again performing this action, which is 2 in this case. Then it prints out 2 in the line and add 1 to 2. Then it becomes 3 and check 3. If it's less than 10, then it comes again and again until this condition becomes false. Now let's run the program and see. Let's run and see. You can see it just prints numbers from 1 to 10. 10 numbers from 1 to 10. Now, what is the difference between this do while and while loop? One would be asking this question. Now, the only difference is that, as I said, this one, it performs the actions in its body 0 or more times. Now, this one performs the action in its body at least 1. So this one, it doesn't care. What can I say? How can I put this thing? This one, it performs this action at least once. It doesn't care if the condition is false. It will execute this body at least once. Let's take, for instance, if you put in there, 51, sorry, 11. You can put any value which is greater than 10. Make this condition false. Now, what will happen here? This one, the reason why it performs this action, even if the condition is false, it's because during this declaration phase where we declared our variable, which we initialized to be equal to 11. Now, when it comes to this part, 11 is outputted to the screen, then incremented to be 12. Only then this do while loop checks if this variable now or this value is less or equal to 10, of which 12 is not less or equal to 10, is greater than 10. Then this condition becomes false, so this body will not be executed again, but it was at least executed once, because this do while it never checks at first if this value makes this condition true or what. It only prints this value, then increment, and only from then it checks the condition. Now let's run the program and see. Only print once, should only run once, because this condition will be false. You can see that it only prints 11. The initial value, it only prints the initial value, which is 11. As you can clearly see there, only say we declared the variable, we initialize it to be 11, then we said, okay, I'll put that variable, I'll put that value, which is 11. Then 11 was displayed, was outputted to the screen, and the line was ended. You can see a new line there, and then from there, this thing checked if now if this value is less or equal to 10, of which this value, which is 12 after the increment, which is 12, is not equal or is not less or equal to 10, which makes condition false. And this condition, once it becomes false, it let's say exit this loop, then return the zero. Then you can see it returns the zero. It only runs at least once. It runs at least once. But a do while, if you make a while loop, then this Nancy action will not be executed because the condition is initially false. I hope you get what I'm saying. If it was a while loop, this Nansika will not run totally. Let me show you. Let me just go back and show you. Let me show you. Maybe if you make a while, uh, if this was a while statement, what will happen? If this condition is initially false, let's run the program. The program will not execute at all. You can see nothing. It should only just return zero because this condition is initially false. What happens here when we declare our variable and assign it and initialize it to be equal to be 11? It comes and check if 11 is less than or equal to 10. Now that condition is false because this 11 is not less or equal to 10. It is greater than 10. This action is not executed at all. It just returns the zero. Unlike the do while statement, it at least performs this action at least once. You can see that one, it at least execute the body of its body at least once. At least once. Now maybe let's put 8 there and see how many times it will execute its body. It will do that action. You can see it only prints from 8, 9, 10. What happens here? We know that 8 first, this was the first, at least once, you know that one, because it will get this num, the value of num is 8, it outputs 8 and the line, then increment 8 to be 9. 9 is less than 10, it again execute this body, then increment 9 to be 10, 10 is equal to 10, it again execute number, now see the value 10, it increments 10 to be 11. Now this condition becomes false, then it exits a loop and return 0. That's it for this tutorial. I hope everything is clear. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the videos. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you have any questions or anything anything that you'd like to say, just please leave a comment. Yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Hope to see you in the next tutorial. To see you in the next tutorial where we'll be talking about the four loops. We'll be talking about the four loops. Thank you guys. Please again and again, don't forget to subscribe and like the videos. Thank you. See you in the next